I'm Jehan and welcome to Jehancancook. Today I'm going to teach you how to make Guyanese roti. With just a few simple steps, you'll be able to make it in your very own home. Now to get started, we're going to make the dough. This is how you do it.
Add all-purpose flour, self-rising flour, salt, and water. Mix it to form a soft dough. Now if you cannot find self-rising flour, you can easily use a mixture of all-purpose flour and baking powder. I'm going to link the complete recipe in the description box below, which includes all measurements. Now once you've added the water to the flour, you want to mix it to form a soft dough. There are two ways to do this. You can do it either by hand or using a stand-up mixer with a hook attachment. I've done it both ways and I find that the results are better using your hands. So it's time to get in there and get dirty. Once the dough starts to come together, you want to knead it until it becomes smooth. Now it might be a little sticky, so just add a light dusting of flour and this should help the process. And you just knead it until you have a nice smooth dough. Now once we finish kneading the dough, we're going to let it sit for about 15 minutes before we move on to the next step. Next, we're going to divide the dough on a floured surface into 6 equal pieces. You can divide it using the method in which I did with my hands, or you can simply cut it with a knife. Either way is just fine. Next, we're going to take one of the balls and we're going to roll it out on a lightly floured surface into a thin oblong shape. Now don't worry about it being perfectly round because this shape actually works best for this step. We're going to brush it liberally with a mixture of oil and shortening. And then we're going to take a knife and we're going to cut it right down the middle, but we're not going to go all the way through. Then we're going to roll it from one end all the way to the next end to form that shape. Now tuck the loose end into one end and just poke it right down in the middle so it can be secure. Now you're going to want to flip it over and poke the other side in. Now this keeps it secure and keeps all of the oil and the shortening that you placed in the middle of the dough. It prevents it from leaking out. Now repeat the process with the remaining 5 pieces of dough until it's complete. And we're going to place the dough on a plate and we're going to cover it with a damp paper towel and let it sit for about half an hour. The damp paper towel prevents it from forming a crust. Now once the dough has rested, take one of the pieces of dough and roll it out on a lightly floured surface. Now we're going to make sure both sides are well floured so it doesn't stick while we're rolling it. Now here is where you need to do your best to roll it into a circle. Now once you roll it into a circle, just brush off any excess flour that may remain. Now we're going to place this onto a large tawa or roti pan, which is basically just a large, flat, heavy pan that is used for cooking roti and flatbreads. Now we're going to cook this for about a minute, just until you see bubbles begin to form, and then we're going to flip it over to the next side. Then we're going to brush it with the same mixture of oil and shortening that we used earlier. We're going to let it cook for about 30 seconds on that side and then flip it. And then we're going to brush this side also with a mixture of oil and shortening. This is a really quick process, so it's best to have all your tools ready once you get ready to cook. Pressing the ends helps it to seal in and helps the roti to puff up, which creates the layers. Now, once it's cooked on that side, we're going to flip it, let it cook for an additional 30 seconds to a minute or so, and then we're going to remove it from the heat. Once we remove the roti from the pan, the next step is to clap the roti. Now this is where you're going to create all those wonderful layers. Now I'm using a dish towel to protect my hand from the heat of the oil. And I'm going to clap the roti until it becomes light and fluffy, and you're going to see the layers begin to form. You can also place the cooked roti into a closed bowl and shake it to produce the layers. Look at all those beautiful layers. Now this is exactly what you're looking for.